Hey everyone, and welcome to MediByte. Today we're diving into something that's at the very core of being human, our need for connection, and how we get on the same wavelength with each other. You know, this quote from psychoanalyst Diana Fosha really gets to the heart of it all. What she's saying is that our strength, our resilience, it comes from this deep feeling of being truly seen and understood by someone who cares. That idea is going to be our guide today as we talk about how we connect, what happens when we can't, and how we can heal. All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about what a secure base is. Then we'll get into something called the dance of attunement. We'll also touch on what happens when that music stops. And most importantly, we'll finish up with how we can actually rewire our inner maps. Let's get into it. Okay, so first up, what exactly is a secure base? You can think of it as the foundation, right? The solid ground that all of our healthy relationships are built on. The psychologist John Bowlby really pioneered this idea of attachment. And it's not about being clingy, it's actually the opposite. It's about having that safe harbor, that home base, that gives you the courage to go out and explore the world, because you know you have a safe place to come back to. That's what builds real self-reliance. And it's from this back and forth, this give and take, that we learn some of the biggest lessons in life. We start to figure out, oh, other people have feelings and thoughts of their own. It's our first crash course in empathy and learning how to get in sync with everyone around us. So that's the what, the foundation. Now let's get into the how. This is what we're calling the dance of attunement. It's how we actually learn to connect. Have you ever had that feeling where you're just completely in sync with someone? You feel totally understood without even having to say much? That's attunement. It's not one big thing. It's this constant, subtle dance happening from moment to moment.
So where does a dance like this even start? Well, it all begins with the body. It's about physical synchrony.
And this starts way earlier than you might think. As researcher Colwyn Trevarthen points out, babies are learning the music of their mother's voice even before they're born. It's like we're hardwired for this rhythm, this connection, right from the get-go. So how does our brain pull this off? Well, it's pretty amazing. We have this kind of built-in neural Wi-Fi system called mirror neurons. And this is the science behind empathy. Basically, these little neurons let us automatically sense and even reflect what other people are feeling. Think about it. When you see someone break into a huge, genuine smile, don't you feel a little flicker of that happiness yourself? Part of your brain is literally mirroring their joy. It's how we learn, how we imitate, and how we build empathy. And this isn't just some abstract idea. The effects on our bodies are huge. When we're in sync with someone who makes us feel safe, our whole system just calms down. Our heartbeat gets steady, our breathing evens out, stress hormones drop. But when that connection is broken, whoosh, you can see the opposite happen instantly. Our bodies go on high alert. This is a real biological state of being. Okay, so we've talked about this beautiful dance, but now we have to talk about what happens when the music stops. This part is tough, but it's so important to understand the impact of disrupted connections. So what happens when this attunement fails, when that vital connection just isn't there? Well, heartbreakingly, observations from clinics that work with children who've experienced severe neglect, they paint a really clear picture. What they saw were children who just couldn't be still, kids who were starving for affection, but at the same time were absolutely terrified of it. They might hit or bite other kids. Some were almost painfully compliant, just trying to be invisible. They couldn't explore or play freely, and many just lacked a fundamental sense of who they even were. It's a devastating look at what happens when our most basic need isn't met. You see, these early experiences, whether they're good or bad, they create our inner maps. They're like the internal GPS that guides all of our future relationships. They set our expectations for what love and safety feel like for the rest of our lives. I know that was heavy. But, and this is a really big but, our final section is all about hope. It's about how we can start rewiring our inner maps. And this really is the best news. Our brains are not set in stone. They have this incredible ability to change, something we call neuroplasticity. And that means those inner maps we talked about, they can be updated. We can have new experiences that teach our brains and our bodies how to feel safe and connected, no matter what our past looks like. So how do we actually do that? It all comes back to finding that rhythm and reciprocity again. Think about things like singing in a choir. You're literally finding harmony with other people. Or ballroom dancing, moving in perfect physical synchrony. Playing on a team, working in a theater group, even improvising in a jazz band. All of these things are powerful ways to practice attunement and physically help our brains build new pathways for connection. The poet E.E. Cummings just nails this feeling with the line, "I like my body when it is with your body, muscles better and nerves more." It's not just an idea, it's this deep physical sense of rightness and joy that comes from being genuinely connected with someone. So I want to leave you with something to think about. How can you, in your own life, with the people you care about, create more of these moments of synchrony? How can we all bring a little more of that beautiful dance of attunement into our world? Thank you so much for joining us here at MediByte. If this was helpful for you, please do like, share, and subscribe for more explainers on health and well-being. We'll see you in the next one.